Hello, road trippers. Let's set up a travel mess kit or picnic bin. Now, why would you want to do that? I don't know about you, but we get tired of eating in restaurants for every meal. The food starts to taste the same, the portions are too large, and it takes a lot of time. The second reason is if you make your own meals, you can control the ingredients. Yes, you can go to higher-end, fancier restaurants, farm-to-table restaurants where they serve organic food or higher quality food, but that also costs more, which is the third reason to create your own mess kit, and that is to save money. When you make some of your own meals while you're on the road, you definitely can cut your travel costs. Give us a like because then we'll know to make more videos to help you save money and to eat healthier on the go. Let's get started making our bin. The first thing you'll need is a container. This is the container that I chose. It's opaque on purpose because sometimes I wheel this into the hotel and I don't want people seeing all my stuff. You'll see on the screen here that I have a picture of my cooler that I attach this to the top, and then I can move this around with one hand. Sometimes I move in and out of hotels by myself, and it's really handy to have things very compact. Inside of the bin, I made a list of everything that I want to keep, and I attached it with a piece of packing tape to keep it clean and waterproof. That way I only had to think one time, and when I repack my bin, I can just look at this to remind myself of what things I need to refresh. In my box, I have two absolute essentials. Almost everything else I could improvise, but these two items are hard to fake. The first one is my knife that I have in a sheath for protection, for safety. It has a little bit of a serrated edge, which helps me to cut some vegetables and bread. And the second thing is a small cutting board. Again, I just had this floating around my kitchen when I made my box and I grabbed it. It takes up almost no space, and you wouldn't believe how often you use this once you have it at your fingertips. The next category of items I think of as the essentials. This allows us to eat like civilized human beings. So I have some plates, bowls, and cups. These happen to be paper. We'll talk about sustainability in just a second. I keep a stack of napkins, which I keep in a gallon Ziploc bag so that they're clean and fresh. And in a pinch, if I need this Ziploc bag, I can dump the napkins out and use it. I also have a selection of paper, silverware, forks, spoons, and I like to keep a couple of butter knives also. Again, I keep these in a bag to keep them corralled and to keep them clean. I like to keep a selection of Ziploc bags. These come in so handy and they take up almost no space. If it's important to you to reduce your waste, you can always choose items that are not disposable. So here I have a small stack of melamine plates. I actually picked these up at a thrift store. They're lightweight. They take up a little more space, but not much. You can collect a handful of hodgepodge silverware just like you would for a camping bin and keep those in your kit instead. One thing that seems to happen at our house is that we compile a selection of paper products that get left over from parties and events, and I just keep those in a box, and when I'm ready to refill my mess kit, I pull from that box. For instance, we got some takeout, and this entire kit is silverware with a napkin, and there's even some salt in here. Instead of throwing that away, I stick it into my mess kit box, and I pull this out and use it over again. The same thing with the silverware. This might be left over from a wedding or a big birthday party that we had. So these are the items that you need to be able to eat in a pleasant manner. The next category are my nice to have items. I like to keep a glass container with a snap top lid. This works great for leftovers if we want to pack a lunch for the day or to heat things up in the microwave. I absolutely do not reheat things in plastic, so I always have to have some kind of a glass container. I also keep a glass jar with a screw-on lid for the same reason. This is great in a microwave. This is an actual ball canning jar, so it's heat resistant, and I can heat up soups or restaurant leftovers in this, and I don't have to reuse plastic containers that way. It also makes a great container for leftovers. I keep a small container of dish soap and a dish towel and dishcloth. Obviously, if you're on the go, working out of your car, this is a must, but I don't like to use the linens at a hotel, and so I bring my own so that I don't mess them up. I like to keep a pair of scissors in my kit. They're wonderful for opening packages, for cutting pieces of food into smaller pieces, and now that I have them, I use them all the time. Next is my baggie of salt and pepper. I'm a little picky about my salt. This is sea salt mixed about 3/4 salt with 1/4 of pepper. I keep it in a double Ziploc bag. It's not very elegant. You could use a salt shaker, but I find this then can scrunch up and I can store it inside of my jar or inside of a cup to take up less space in the kit. And finally, my foil. This doesn't look like much, but this is actually a very large amount of heavy-duty foil. I use this to iron cook. I have a whole series of videos on our YouTube channel about how I use a hotel iron to cook steak, grill sandwiches, pork and chicken cutlets, even tuna steak. You can make some very delicious, even gourmet meals with an iron and a small pack of foil. It weighs nothing and it takes up no room. I'd love to know what you consider your most essential item in your mess kit. Leave us a comment below so that we can all get some new ideas. And finally, I have a few luxury items. We like to have wine when we're on the road, and I don't like to drink it out of a plastic or paper cup. Wine purists might blanch at this, drinking red wine out of, I think these are liqueur glasses, but they're stout and sturdy and they don't take up much room in my box. I found these at a thrift store and I like to bring them along in my kit. I don't travel with a can opener anymore. This is actually my house can opener. If I were going to put one in my kit, I would find a much more minimal design. I used to have a can opener and I found, number one, we don't use many canned foods, but when I do, they almost all come with a pop top, or you at least have the option of a canned food with a pop top. So I don't need the can opener anymore, but you might, depending on your eating habits. The other thing that you might want to have that I don't is a corkscrew. This is actually a cheap one that a hotel gave us with a bottle opener, a corkscrew, and a very, very dull, almost butter knife dull, pen knife. I like to use travel as an opportunity to try box wines, the canned wines. More and more are coming out every day and they're actually great quality. And finally, definitely a luxury item is my milk frother. I keep it in the box that it came in to protect it because the wire is a bit delicate. This is wonderful for mixing up fat coffee or keto coffees, cocoa. Sometimes I'll end up making a little sauce if I'm doing a steak on the iron. And this comes in very handy. A couple of my kids actually travel with a full-size immersion blender, which gives them flexibility to make smoothies and other kinds of mixed beverages and fat coffees. What would you consider a luxury item? What would you like to have in your mess kit to help you make more gourmet meals on the road? Be sure to subscribe. In the next few weeks, we'll be making more videos on how to eat on the road in a healthy and more affordable way. Thanks for watching.